Everybody's having a great day today as we get prepared for another Shedeur Sanders saga. Now, we know news broke yesterday that Shedeur Sanders was dealing with an oblique injury. Like I said, a lot of people was clueless and pretty much saying that the young man was not hurt. He's hurt, guys. He would not be faking an injury like this. He will not be missing his reps. And for people to even say that narrative is mind-boggling to me. It's what it is. But with all of that being said, we got an update from Kevin Stefanski talking about Shedeur and pretty much the process is going to take for him to get back. Let's
we want to see Shedeur again this weekend, right? I want to see that story. He was making things real interesting there in Cleveland. But man, like oblique injury, I know we've talked a little bit in the past. Oblique injury is tough for a quarterback. It's not the type of thing that you're just going to go, oh, I'll be okay in a few days. I'd be. Of course, there's no way he's playing this weekend, I would think. And then what I would worry about is preseason game number 3, whether he can play then as well, right? And it's an issue again as we talk about throwing the ball, the torque of the up.
And just like that, Cleveland is in chaos. A rookie phenom who was supposed to save the Browns, Shedeur Sanders, is now sidelined with an oblique injury, and the way this was handled has ownership furious, fans restless, and Kevin Stefanski's job possibly hanging by a thread. This isn't just another training camp setback. No, this might be the breaking point for a franchise that has lived on dysfunction for decades. Think about the stakes here. Shedeur wasn't brought in as a long-term project. He was drafted to compete right away. He was drafted to give Cleveland hope, to give them swagger, to give them something they haven't had in years, a quarterback worth believing in. And after one promising preseason outing, 14 completions, 138 yards, and 2 touchdowns, fans saw it. They saw the talent. They saw the future. But instead of fueling the hype train, Kevin Stefanski slammed the brakes. Now here's the twist. While Stefanski was calm and collected in front of the cameras, behind closed doors, sources say ownership was fuming. Jimmy Haslam and the Browns front office believed this injury wasn't bad luck, it was mismanagement. And when ownership starts questioning the health of their most valuable asset, heads are about to roll. But let's break this down. Stefanski admitted Shedeur felt something during warm-ups. Then he kept practicing. Then the pain worsened. By the time it was obvious, it was too late. Any competent staff would have shut him down immediately. Instead, they pushed him. And now he's sidelined in a critical evaluation window, missing reps he desperately needs. This isn't just about an injury. This is about whether Kevin Stefanski is the right man to lead Cleveland into the future, or whether he just jeopardized it. And here's what makes it worse. Stefanski's explanation doesn't add up. He called it day-to-day. But anybody who knows football knows oblique injuries for quarterbacks are no joke. You torque every throw with those muscles. You don't just play through it. So was Stefanski trying to protect Shedeur, or was he protecting himself from criticism? Now, Browns fans are connecting the dots. Dylan Gabriel's dealing with hamstring issues. Kenny Pickett's been banged up. And Shedeur's now got an oblique injury. That's 3 quarterbacks in a room where only one, 40-year-old Joe Flacco, seems to be staying healthy. That doesn't sound like bad luck. That sounds like systematic dysfunction. And let me tell you something, Browns fans are tired. They've lived through quarterback controversies for decades. They thought Shedeur was the one to change it. But now, it feels like the same old story. So I want to ask you, do you think this is just another Cleveland overreaction? Or do you believe Kevin Stefanski really put Shedeur's career at risk by mismanaging his health? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Because here's the reality, this is no small drama. This is an owner-level controversy. Jimmy Haslam didn't invest millions in this quarterback room just to watch injuries pile up before the season even begins. And he definitely didn't draft Shedeur Sanders just to see him sidelined while Caleb Williams lights it up in Chicago and Jaden Daniels shows flashes in Washington. The optics? Brutal.
Yeah, felt it early, I think warming up, and felt it throughout individuals who took a look at it. If it's a right guard, you can play through that. When it's a quarterback, you kind of need that muscle to throw. So unfortunately, I'm going to put him down for a little bit here. We'll treat it day to day and see how it responds, but want to be smart because he's a thrower, so you can't push that thing.
It's such a critical point in your evaluation of these quarterbacks. How does it affect your evaluation of the quarterbacks?
Yeah, listen, injuries stink for all these guys. They don't want to miss a rep for any reason, Tony, but there's a way to continue to prepare, continue to get better, even when you're not getting reps. Because
It's an oblique. I mean, a lot like a hamstring. Is that one of those injuries that, I mean, it gets a little tricky to...
I think it's just with throwers and pitchers and guys that tour.
Now, here's what nobody's talking about. Browns fans are already calling for Stefanski's.
Let's call it what it is. Kevin Stefanski's seat is on fire. He already barely saved GM Andrew Berry's job last year. Now, it might be Stefanski who's the scapegoat. Ownership is asking questions like, why can't we keep quarterbacks healthy? Why is our training staff unprepared? Why is our golden boy, our supposed franchise quarterback, hurt before the season even starts? The Browns didn't just draft a quarterback. They drafted hope. And Stefanski might be breaking it before it even begins. And here's the kicker. Browns fans are demanding Shedeur be QB1. After that preseason debut, they don't want Joe Flacco. They don't want competition reps. They want Shedeur. But now he's sidelined. And every week he misses makes Flacco more likely to be the week 1 starter. Imagine the optics. Cleveland's 40-year-old backup healthy and starting, while their 22-year-old franchise QB sits in the training room because of a preventable practice injury. That's not just frustrating, it's embarrassing. So let's zoom out. What does this mean for Cleveland? Well, for starters, ownership is losing patience. This isn't about bad luck anymore. This is about a pattern of failure. 1 playoff appearance in 5 years. A roster with talent that constantly underperforms. And now a generational rookie QB who's hurt before the real games even start. The Browns didn't hire Stefanski to be conservative. They hired him to be a quarterback developer. A whisperer. A leader. But what do they have instead? Quarterbacks dropping like flies, talent being wasted, and excuses piling up. Let's be real, this isn't the first time Stefanski's been questioned. Fans were already frustrated last year. They wanted more out of Deshaun Watson. They wanted more out of the offense. And now, just when the fanbase finally gets excited about Shedeur Sanders, Stefanski finds a way to throw cold water on the fire. So ask yourself this, do you trust Stefanski to develop Shedeur Sanders into a franchise quarterback? Or do you think the Browns need fresh leadership before this kid's career even begins? Because Cleveland has wasted enough quarterbacks. And Shedeur Sanders can't be the next one. Now, here's what should scare every Browns fan. The schedule. Bengals, Ravens, Lions, Vikings. Those are some of the league's toughest defenses, all in the early stretch. If Shedeur isn't healthy, if Flacco is forced to start, if this team starts slow, the season could spiral before it even begins. And you think ownership's going to sit back and watch Stefanski fumble away another year? No chance. That's why this story matters. This isn't just about an oblique injury. It's about the direction of the entire franchise. It's about whether Cleveland is ready to finally support their future, or whether they're doomed to repeat the same mistakes. And here's the thing. Through all of this chaos, Shedeur Sanders has shown one thing that should give Browns fans hope. Toughness. He's dealt with pressure his entire life. He played through hits at Colorado. He's proven he can handle the NFL grind mentally. This injury won't break him. What could break him, though, is being trapped in a system that doesn't protect him, doesn't nurture him, and doesn't prioritize his development. That's the real danger here. Not the oblique. The dysfunction. So let me throw it back to you. Should Browns ownership fire Kevin Stefanski now before things get worse? Or do you give him one last chance to prove himself this season? And more importantly, do you believe Shedeur Sanders is tough enough to rise above all this drama and still become the franchise quarterback Cleveland desperately needs? Hook line. Because this isn't just about Shedeur's injury. This is about Cleveland's identity. Are they ready to build a winner, or are they still the same old Browns? Here's my take. Stefanski's time is running out. The whispers are getting louder. The fans are restless. And ownership is watching every move. The Browns can't afford to waste Shedeur Sanders. They can't afford to mismanage his career. And they definitely can't afford another season of disappointment. Shedeur will bounce back. The kid is too talented, too tough, too mentally sharp to be held down by one injury. The question is whether the Browns will bounce back with him, or whether they'll waste yet another golden opportunity. Because talent without proper development? That's just wasted potential. and Cleveland has wasted enough potential for several lifetimes. So Browns fans, buckle up. This story is just getting started. If you believe Shedeur Sanders can overcome this and become the franchise QB Cleveland desperately needs, or if you think Kevin Stefanski's time is already up, let me know in the comments below. This situation is developing fast and will be here every step of the way. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single update. This is Gridiron Insights, and trust me, with everything happening in Cleveland right now, you don't want to miss what's coming next.